So what would a well-lived 2026 look like for me? Last year, I did a thing. I wrote like what a well-lived 2025 would look like for me. And I wrote a lot of things. I wrote purely loving Christ, producing audio documentaries, 10 at least storyboard. So, okay, let's start from the beginning. I wrote a well-lived 2025 would be purely loving Christ. And I ticked that off because I and Jesus, we are best friends now. He's my therapist. Oh my God. The second thing I wrote was producing audio documentaries, 10 at least. Guess who did not produce even one documentary this year? Me. Because I want to blame it on the length of the year, because this year just ran. But then it was really difficult producing a documentary this year. I released one documentary though. You can listen to it, Period Poverty. I released one documentary. Then there were a lot of things that I wrote on what would make, a well-lived 2025. But I would say the ones that worked, the one I ticked off. Making more money, investing in myself socially, being excellent at my work, do solo dates once a month, stand up for myself more, be courageous, buy more gifts for people. I did all of that this year, and there were some I didn't tick. So I'm going to be carrying all of those things to next year, right? The ones that I didn't tick. And at the top of my list is the number one thing that would make 2026 a well-lived year is amassing growth in my social media, amassing growth in my podcasting, in my writing, and in my video content creation. Amassing growth could be finally getting recognition for the work that I do on social media. It could be getting engagements, speaking engagements from it. It could be getting into a fellowship, a conference because of it. It could be finally getting a brand deal because of it. Oh my God, I can't even believe that I'm saying that I want to get a brand deal, because when I started content creating, I was just like, oh, let's do it for fun. But girl, it's no longer for fun anymore. I want this thing to earn me money because it's something that I put my time into. Now I'm treating my life as a business this year. I'm treating it as a business this year. Now I'm trying to do a review of how 2025 went for me. 2025 was beautiful. I ticked off for most of the things I wanted to do in the year 2025. I gained habits that I know I'll be carrying into the year 2026 with, which is journaling. 2025 was the year I journaled more. Oh my gosh. I would release a picture on my social media accounts on the number of journals I filled in the year 2025. I wrote a lot this year. I also became more prayerful. I went to church more. Hey! I went to church more. I studied my Bible more. These are habits that would surely be entering 2026, because 2024 was such a hard year. And I wanted to enter 2025 more grounded, more in peace with myself, more joyful. And I must say that I experienced more joy this year. I let go of a lot of things that I, encountered in 2024. I experienced a lot of anger in 2024, bitterness. I was offended a lot. I had the spirit of I had the spirit of offense. I was, disgusted easily by things. But my encounter with Jesus just kind of improved my life in the year 2025. So I'm carrying all of those good habits into 2026, and I'm, releasing my attachment style, because I cannot be fantasizing about somebody that is not fantasizing about me. I'm going to be talking about that because love is freaking embarrassing. Oh, I have a lot of things to say for podcasting this year, and I can't wait to get into it. In fact, I just got an idea, and let me just, write it down now. I want to say editing Chinwendu here, but there's no need for it because this is the next day. Another habit that I gained in the year 2025 was going on solo dates. I read this book by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way, and I mentioned it in the season 4 of Ordinary. I spoke about, I mentioned it in season 4 of Ordinary. I spoke about how this book helped me to, reignite fire when it came to my creativity. And one of the things that we're being asked to do was to take ourselves on an artist date. In fact, the two habits that I gained in the year 2025 were from that book, which was the number one, morning page, and number two, the artist date. So morning page is all about journaling, and I journaled a lot this year, right? Whenever I was experiencing something that I could not speak to another person, for example, I was encountering like jealousy, envy, offense, I was bitter, things that you could not tell, you feel embarrassed. There are things that you feel that you'd be embarrassed to tell another person because maybe you don't trust that the other person would handle what you're telling them, or you just don't want people to see you in a certain light because those emotions that you feel make you look like a wicked person, which you're not. All of us, we experience like different emotions, and it's just the person that handles it more, or the person that is aware of that emotion and tries to mitigate it or take it away. That is what makes people good. That is what makes people the better persons, right? So I was in this place in 2025 where I didn't want to share all of those emotions or feelings with the people in my physical environment or even my friends. So journaling really helped me a lot to come to a place of like catharsis, just releasing, a platform to release. So I journaled more. Then number two, artist date, taking myself on solo dates. I went to a lot of restaurants because olonje. I love eating. So of course I went to a lot of restaurants. I went to the bookshop a lot this year. In fact, this year is the first year ever I'm buying a lot of books. I have up to 50 books. I bought up close to 50 books this year. I gifted people books this year too. I took myself on walks. Another habit I got from, this Julia Cameron's book was going on a 20-minute walk every week. And I found myself every Sunday, once I was done from church, my church is not far from my house, it's like a 20-minute walk. So I found myself walking, myself entering bike to go to my house. I would walk. As I was walking on the road, my phone was away, earpiece was away, I wasn't listening to anything. It was just my legs, and the world. Or sometimes if I was really, maybe going through something, it was also the time for me to talk to myself. It was the time for me to understand what I was feeling. I think I extended a lot of grace to myself in the year 2025 because unlike 2024, what made 2024 really bad was I was unforgiving to myself, and I disliked who I was, I felt like if I was feeling this way, if this thing was happening to me, why did I deserve to even, feel good? So I felt a lot of way in 2024. But what made 2025 better was not only did I find Jesus, I also learned how to sit with myself and have like difficult conversations with myself. And also I had habits that would help me better understand who I was. And those were journaling. One of the dates I did was buying like, crayons, sketch pad, and just like a drawing. That I don't know why that is making me so excited, but it was one of the things I also did this year, drawing, painting, singing. Oh my God. I did a lot of singing this year. So in my room, unlike 2024, my room was bare. But in 2025, my room came alive. My room became my comfort zone. It became somewhere I could easily just chill in. So I wrote a lot of like affirmations on the wall close to my bed with the crayons and sketch pad I bought, and then taped them to the wall. So even though I don't say those words of affirmation every day, whenever I look at the wall, I just see things that would make me feel good, like words from the Bible, words that I think are really cool to hype myself up and enlighten or reawaken my spirit. So I did a lot of drawing. I bought a lot of books this year. I ate a lot of food. I added weight. Oh my Jesus. Sometimes when I look at myself in the mirror, I get a glimpse of how I would look when I get pregnant. So yeah, I added a lot of weight this year. I attended a lot of ambitious events by the United Nations. I would work with the United Nations when the United Nations wait for me. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to work with So I attended a lot of events by the United Nations, United Nations Population Fund, United Nations Women. I did a lot of that. I attended events. I looked more beautiful this year. I don't even know what made me more beautiful, but I looked, more beautiful this year. More married men approached me, which I'm canceling with my life. I'm going to do an episode on, married men approaching me and toasting me. But generally, I would give 2025 a solid 11 over 10. It came with its ups and downs. It came with its downs, which I think I have expressed. The thing that made it better was that I managed those downs well. I needed to have some hard conversations with people. And 2025 is the first year ever since I said, being in tune with my emotions. 2025 is the first year that I didn't feel the need to escape. Yes, I went off social media. I wasn't checking up on people the way I was meant to check up on them. But it wasn't because I was sad or frustrated or angry at life. It was because I was genuinely busy. It was because I just felt like I needed to chill. But that yearning to escape, to just it wasn't overwhelming this year, 2025. And I'm super proud of that. And I also found therapy with Jesus. Oh, those are the best things ever. Those are the best things. I don't want to, divulge what that therapy session looks like. But, very, very soon, I'll be talking about it. So 2025 was a great year. It was a well-lived year, even though I didn't do most of the things I wanted to do. And all of those things that I didn't do in 2025, I'll be carrying it over to 2026. I want to know what your 2025 looks like and are the things you're putting into place to see how 2026 will be better for you. This quote by, I don't know was it Albert Einstein that said it, but insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. At some point, you need to realize that you cannot be entering. Yeah, people have said New Year resolutions are trash, making new goals are trash. True, it's only trash when you don't work on it. It's true, but I want you to enter 2026 with one thing in mind. What is that thing that should happen at the end? What is that one thing that if it happened in the year 2026, you would be like, yes, 2026 was a well-lived year. It doesn't need to be anything flamboyant or, big. It could just be having a peaceful year, having love in your life, making friends. It could just be that. So I want to know what 2026 would look like for you. Imagine it and tell me. I would love to know. And what habits are you entering 2026 with? What is that habit? It could be journaling. It could be taking a walk. It could be, trying to sleep better, because these are the things that influence, how we function or interact with the world outside. So you could decide to imbibe the habit of journaling, reading. I read less this year. I read less in the year 2025. From my Goodreads, I read 39 books this year, which is poor compared to 2024. Just have a habit that you'll be consistent with throughout the year 2026. And what would a well-lived 2026 look like for you? Send in your answers on any, platform you're listening to. YouTube, Spotify. Which other channel did they listen for again? I've forgotten. But any channel you're using to listen to this podcast on, just, review, comment. And you can send me an email to chinwendu@gmail.com, Instagram, the Chinwendu, Facebook, Chinwendu Odimwe, and, share the episode. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.